All right. Z and J today.
I'm Z.
I'm Jay. We're back. Right here with Denise J Bryson. With a clip, a little segment, a little snippet of this fantastic.
A little bit, not too much, y'all.
Just enough to wet your whistle. The homeless man's wife had been driving the girls from gymnastics. The happy little family were only 3 blocks from their house. The man in the wingtip shoes had just been about ready to walk his dog when he heard the loud squeal of tires, then the fatal sound of metal and hard plastic grinding as car met car. He knew he had to respond to what he could tell was a bad accident. He grabbed his black bag, jumped into, you know what, I started at the wrong spot. So, edit that out.
Edit it out. But I won't edit this out. She said, "Wet your whistle." And I'm enjoying right now one of the best candies that was back in the day. It's called butterscotch hard candy. Off the chain, and it's authentic too. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have never heard of it, go out and find it. Anyway, you were saying.
Dawn was still a few hours away, and the homeless man walked the riverfront in his brand new pair of black wingtip shoes. He had been wearing them ever since he found them in the dumpster 3 days ago. He wondered why the young woman would throw away something so nice and new. That was just like rich people who had everything. They just tossed stuff and people aside. Well, he wasn't like that. He would wear these shoes and wear them proudly. When he first put them on, he felt like $1 million. They were a perfect fit, even without socks. Memories of happier days flooded his mind. He smiled as he walked in his new shoes. Now, 3 days later, they still made him feel like he used to feel in the good old days. Memories of himself as a father, working to support his family, his 2 kids, his beautiful wife, flooded his mind. How much better his life had been back then. He had a job, family, friends, and a life. He had lost it all after losing his wife and kids in the car accident to a drunk driver, who only got a set of broken ribs for his effort. At the trial, the driver stated he didn't even remember getting into his car that night. The homeless man's wife had been driving their girls home from gymnastics. The happy little family were only 3 blocks from their house. Man in the wingtip shoes was just about ready to walk his dog when he heard the loud squeal of tires, then the fatal sound of metal and hard plastic grinding as car met car. He knew he had to respond to what he could tell was a bad accident. He grabbed his black bag, jumped in his SUV, and drove in the direction of the sound. He found another SUV, flipped completely over. The roof was caved in and crushed. A pickup truck had hit the SUV in the sweet spot and flipped it over. The debris trail was about a block long, and it was evident the SUV had rolled a number of times. The tree had stopped the truck hard. He jumped out of his SUV and ran to the scene. A feeling of dread began to come over him. The closer he got to the SUV, the stronger the feeling, until he saw the license plate on the overturned SUV. It read, Doc 2. His own SUV license plate said, Doc 1. His heart skipped a beat. His breath caught in his lungs, and his world began to go dark. He ran to the SUV and kneeled to the driver's side. No one should have witnessed to the carnage inside the SUV, let alone the husband of the woman driving. His eyes saw what should have been his wife's head. What he saw instead was a bloody tangled mess of blonde hair, flesh, skull, bone, and brains. One of the girls was slumped over in the back seat, hanging upside down in her seatbelt. He could see her neck was broken. However, where was his other child? He stood and looked around frantically. He held on to a glimmer of hope that maybe one of them survived. Then he saw her. Karen had always been the defiant one. She hated wearing her seatbelt. She was lying in the road just up ahead. He ran toward the broken little body. The same little body that only an hour ago had been soaring high on the parallel bars. He reached out for her. He knew he shouldn't move her, but he was compelled. As he slowly turned her over, he almost dropped her back to the ground. He caught himself, and instead, he gently laid her back on the sticky pavement and watched in horror as some of her brain slid out of the large hole in her skull. He sat next to her, and next to her sat most of her brain.
Whoa. Wow. Edit pause. Edit pause back in. To use the word edit pause.
Yeah.
It picked them up.
Which part freaked you out the most? The brains or him sitting next to her and the brains?
Oh, nothing. I mean, no. I paused that last one was because whatever you just said, edit in the cart.
Quiet on the set! Guys, keep it down out there. We're picking you up. Keep it down. A few more minutes.
Yeah, we'll be almost done.
That reminds me of Miss Stacey Johnson. She's, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can believe it. Okay. 3, 2, back in. Still rolling. That was intense.
Yeah, that's one way of describing it.
That's where horror starts, in the home.
Yeah, but see, hard to say the word liked, but what I appreciated about it was not just the detail, but the personality that was coming through on all of that.
I try to give as many of my characters personalities so that they can reach many different people.
So you really do have a knack for this. But starting out, did you actually like it, or was it just the shoe fits wear thing? You was just good at it, so you just went with it.
I started out actually liking it. The first story I ever wrote in the 4th grade was called The Last Witch in Salem. So I've been writing horror for a long time.
Last Witch in Salem.
The Last Witch in Salem. After the witch trials they thought were over, they found one more. Only she had a surprise for them. She wasn't going down like that.
One more edit pause. You don't got a door, do you?
Huh?
You don't have a door there.
I don't. Boys!
It's that, whatever that foam thing is.
Jamie!
It's cutting through.
Baby, can you cut that off or down for just a minute?
Yeah.
Thank you. We're picking it up in here.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Good, man. We're almost
done.
In a few more minutes, man. We'll be done anyway.
They be on that damn thing all day, all night. I ain't worried about them kids.
Okay. Oh, these outtakes are great too. Back in 2, 1.
I don't even know what to say. I don't.
You don't know what to say.
I think I've left them speechless.
You're speechless?
That's one way of putting it.
I think he's a little afraid of me now.
You know what? We leave it at that.
He wants to leave it at that. I'm not gonna go so far as to leave it at that, but I will say this. The writing skill is evident. Y'all heard what she just said.
Thank you.
Y'all know this is not a game player here. This is a serious author, and you got serious material. And this material can go places past books, if you know what I'm saying. So, those of you that are in that game, pay attention. Pay attention. Don't be the one that gets left out, because only one person gets the prize. Could be you.
Could be the next best-selling movie.
That's right. Or series. Or however you want to look at it. Make it happen.
I'm looking at it.
That's how she's looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. He's still tripping on what he heard. You can see it. Look at it. Look at it. Y'all see that? Y'all notice that? See? It is what it is.
My writing does seem to have that effect on some people.
Mm-hmm.
So when it goes, I don't want to say as far as you want it to go, because I know you want it to always progress, but do you plan on eventually having t-shirts, merchandise?
I do. I have a friend who does t-shirts. I've been in talks with him. Gonna see what happens there. I would love to see little electric chairs on everybody's kitchen table.
You notice what she said, folks. Electric chairs on the kitchen table. There's a lot of different intricacies into the dynamic of what she just said. If y'all didn't pick